Welcome to Lesson 8, Maintaining and Sustaining This Lifestyle and Way of Being that we've talked about this entire series. And I want to say cheers or congratulations for making it to the end. Today's lesson, mindset affirmation, is going to be I honor myself by committing to a daily practice. Okay, and this video reminder is about honoring, preserving, and protecting you because you are important and simply because you exist. But also, with that being said, I'm also going to bring up some ideas for picking your mission. Okay, so honoring yourself is also honoring your mission and your purpose, or one of your purposes in this life. Okay, you are important simply because you exist. So, the last lesson, to recap, we talked about boundary setting, being able to assess your boundaries and how to do that, what is and isn't appropriate for you as well as your team, and the different strategies there. Okay, so in saying cheers and congratulations by getting this far, that could be your first baby step. I'm going to say that is your first baby step because you've gotten this far. I understand maybe you haven't done the exercises, but maybe that you will go back and do them. Whatever the case, the fact that you made it to this very last lesson, I am proud of you. So celebrate that, okay? Celebrate any baby step that you make. So when it comes to self-care, there are a lot of different things out there. I am the vault of the 20 plus years of the different things I've done. And I'm not going to list them all in this episode because I don't want to, this episode, I don't want to overwhelm you. And I want you to walk away feeling good that you can make one step forward to whatever it is that you want to do in your careers, leadership or not. Okay, so you can always ask me, you can refer to my website. There are many things aside from just yoga, journaling, and things like that, doing, slow meditative exercises, just different things, okay? But I just want you to dedicate one thing in your daily practice. Go easy on yourself. If it takes you time, maybe you do it one day, then you skip the next day, whatever. It's the discipline, right? Just keep going and do your best. So on a very basic level, I mentioned before, even rolling over in the morning and putting your hand on your heart and talking to yourself, saying some little things, show me how I can best serve my team or crew today. What can I improve on to perform at my highest? Okay, and giving gratitude and thanks for waking up and for the life that you have and that you are breathing and that you are doing one of the most awesome, amazing jobs. And if you feel like that's still in your heart, or, you again are just new to the career, okay? So, basics, those are basics. Now, the next part that I wanted to go over and say, and this is going to help maintain and sustain the mindset, is because once you pick a mission that you are passionate about, it's almost like kind of becomes an addiction in wanting to achieve whatever it is that you have chosen. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples of an idea. So picking your mission within the first responder work. This is something, though, too, that you have learned in your upbringing or your personal life, that you can maybe you will get some ideas after what I'm talking about of how you specifically are going to be able to do this. And it would be a really good idea, again, to have a piece of paper. I talk about this as also life purpose coach, is that you write a list of all the things you've been passionate about in life. And generally the one that you stop at that brings tears to your eyes, that's what it is. Okay, and there's so many things that could be in there. But I'm going to give you examples as first responders, some different ideas of, I've talked to people over the years and different things that they encounter as paramedics, firefighters, and cops. And so an idea for your mission could you be the next leader who helps educate community? Okay, so a lot of people, public out here, we define a true emergency, what we feel is a true emergency, differently than what you do. And I know there aren't a lot of classes out there. May be classes out there, but I had never heard of them until I started exploring of how to educate the public, especially a lot of the older generations that do not know. So, me hearing about these stories about stubbed toes and stomach aches and things like that, where people may feel that is a true emergency to them, and then they are calling over and over again and tying up the line for what is actually more urgent, considered more urgent. Okay, so I think actually explaining this to the public would be great. And there's different ways, of course, like social, to get this out to the media, including, I know you guys have open houses. I've never been to one, but that's another way definitely to engage and, really make it more serious other than just posting it, because sometimes you post things up there and then nothing becomes of it, right? Somebody might be like, oh, that's a good idea, and then nothing happens. Just a suggestion. I was like, well, I wonder if those open houses would be good. And I had just found about those, and I didn't know, just being in the public, that those were offered, open houses. Okay, there's a lot I don't know about first responders before I started doing this kind of stuff. I also wanted to bring up, this is interesting to me. I had 3 situations over the past 2 or 3 years, that happened where I was hesitant in even knowing who to call. Yeah, I know to call 911, but I was like thinking, like, are there different extensions? Because while they were urgent, it wasn't like that urgent where we couldn't wait. And I'll explain to you here. Wait for somebody to arrive. So I was turning onto my street, and basically this girl jumped out of a car and started running, and the car just took off. So I didn't know what the hell was happening. I didn't know if she got kidnapped. I didn't know what was going on. And I'm embarrassed to say I did something that I think is dumb, but I always, trust myself, and that, I stopped and, got her in the car and talked to her. But my daughter was also there, and so that wasn't the best situation. And anyway, I did end up talking to her, and it was possible domestic violence situation. So I did call about that. Okay. Thinking about it now, I probably should have just pulled over, maybe just talked to her, got her attention, stopped, and then called cops, and then they could figure it out. Okay, so anyway, I feel like I didn't handle that very well. The second one was an elderly man by my house who looked like he was lost, and he was sitting in the street playing with a box. And so again, I didn't know that I should actually be calling as an urgent 911 call, but I did as well. And then the 8 firefighters showed up, and that was funny. Okay, it was just funny how many of them that there were, and that just all of the talk about first responders and what I do. Okay, the third thing is a swerving driver on a 1-lane road. I didn't know if they were on meds or if they were drunk, and they kept swerving. So again, and I did make the call again. So the reason I wanted to give these examples is that, again, as a person in the public who doesn't really know, I thought it was very interesting. I was in these situations. I just don't know enough about dealing with those situations. So while I'm glad that they happened, and I can bring them up, perhaps there is a way, yes, there is a way that you can get education to the public in regarding how to deal with these situations. Okay, almost just kind of like also as us being, we as first responders to a scene, knowing basic medical care of just any sorts, which I don't think I know enough of. And I need a class myself other than just CPR training. Okay, so I thought those were some interesting examples to share with you that have happened in my life recently. So this is one example, right, that isn't super deep and dramatic and going into sensitive topics like preventing more suicides or murders, okay? So that's also another level of mission work, but it doesn't have to be that deep. How magnificent would it be to be helping these people and those families who have unsolved cases of missing loved ones, right? Maybe you could be the next leader who goes and explores intuitives, mediums, and specialists and people that study paranormal. They really do help people a lot, and there are actual detectives out there who are working on these sorts of things, and it's not so hokey these days. And imagine how much healing it's providing for these families. I am actually still waiting for the day, going back to the whole killing and murders thing, that someone out there will help find who killed, I like to call my buddy Henry Rollins, who was on my show, his best friend, over 20 plus years ago. That this happened, and he's given me just his presence in my upbringing, and has helped me so much in the person that he's become today, and how he's helped the world, how much healing that would give to these, like I said, unsolved cases. And so I do want to put it out there that needing as much, it's never too late to help these sorts of cases. Okay, so deciding on a mission, like I just said, there's many things out there that we can help with out there, and so it doesn't have to be deep, and it can still be profound and impact in a lot of people's lives, and also provide healing for you, right? Okay, because whether to say it's about helping the ego or not, it's all, I look at it as all helping each other. Okay, so moving on, I talked about that I'm not going to list the 20 plus years of basically information in sharing with you of how you can integrate into your life, um, you know, these different sorts of things that are going to help harmonize your life, including addressing your help. Okay, so all sorts of self care things out there. Of course, I'm going to recommend massaging and facials, and just, maybe an energy work, and maybe just having a good friend. Okay, somebody who loves and cares about you and is going to be there for you is like therapeutic enough. Somebody there to help hold you accountable. I've had tons of pen pals my entire life over the phone and in the mail, that have helped me. So listening to podcasts, all these sorts of things are going to help you. Okay. And then also maintaining the lifestyle and keeping the fire going and passionate, if you already haven't, based on everything I just told you and all that mission work, is that adding things in your tool belt to make yourself better as a first responder, enhancing your skill set. And that would be in learning about Eastern ways of healing, like acupressure, things. I know that involves different liabilities, but you can investigate that and find out, because I know there are first responders out there with other skills. Okay, I also know a good friend of mine who's a trauma tech, and because of he knows of his self-defense background and pressure points, he's been able to utilize that. Okay, and then also just I've talked about martial arts styles and self-defense. Humboldt firefighters have also been able to use jujitsu when they've had to deal with homeless people on gurneys that are pulling IVs out of their arm. I don't know if they were drunk or not. But anyway, they were able to utilize that. And then mindset training, all the stuff that I talk about. You can study different people out there, regarding fear. Tony Blauer's been around for a long time. And there are other specialists out there in mindset training. So, in ending, in all of this, best advice ever is that just do your best. Go easy on yourself. And just having the intention and love and care for yourself is going to help you. And to never, just basically never give up. And that's kind of a brief way, in a nutshell, of just saying, talking to yourself, having a whether it's yourself or spiritual teacher or whatever it is, and having that stillness time, even if it is 5 minutes. Okay. And affirmations, listening to people, posting things around you, surrounding yourself with positivity. Okay. And then don't forget, too, that there is a lot of negativity out there. So finding your way to basically cleanse yourself of that. And that would be through different sorts of other traditions that I love, like Native Americans using the sage, Palo Santo that helps, bring positivity in. There are also sage sprays out there. You can cleanse, spray your uniform before you start, the beginning of the day and the end of your day. There's lots of things out there, okay? Because that negative energy, it does get into our personal space and all of that. We could go into talking a little bit about auras, but we're not going to. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video 8, and there are lots of thought leaders out there. I'm going to use and coin Jeremy Sanders of Crew First Culture out of Oklahoma, I believe, in the underground leadership movement. There are a lot of mentors out there that can help you, okay, both in fire service, the paramedics, and also law enforcement. So I will name drop. Don't forget the podcast Make Do Urban Firemen with Sean Duffy and Nick Peppard, and then also Chief Jacob J from Texas, who I talked about. And he's going to be starting his own podcast. Okay, so lots of people out there to help you move forward in leadership in your careers. And I just want to remind you, please celebrate your small successes on a daily basis. And the fact that you are even listening to this, I am happy that you are here. Thank you for listening to me run my mouth. And now I know it's cheesy. I want to tell you to go rock your life. But remember to say to yourself one of those things that I love to say recently, it's my new thing, is I am meant to move mountains. And now I want you to go do it. Okay? So let me know any feedbacks. You love this series. And Nora at rockyourlifewithnorafinch.com. And I am on all platforms and YouTube videos as well. Thanks for listening.